And let's go right over here and talk with John. He is calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. John, you are on. How you doing today?
What's up?
You're on.
Hey
How
guys,
you doing?
How y'all doing today?
Doing all right.
Hey, I have a question. Kind of a long story, so I'll just keep it short. My wife's mother came over about a couple months ago and was verbally assaulting my wife, and then physically assaulted her.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was being pinned down to the ground, and she had to fight the only way she could to save herself because she was basically suffocating. So she grabbed her mom's neck, got her off. Then her mother called the police from our house, and my wife was arrested. Now she's facing a felony charge. And she's also grieving the loss of her mother, who she's not allowed to talk to through the courts. And her mother also won't take any blame for what she did.
Yeah.
And she's telling all of her family that it was basically my wife's fault and that this is what's good for her.
Let me ask you this. Has anyone ever witnessed another incident where your wife's mother was aggressive or belligerent, seemingly out of control, whether there was any kind of physical stuff or not? Has anybody else seen any of that in her?
Yeah. My wife's dad, who they're divorced now from the mom, and also my wife's brother, they were physically abused as children.
Okay.
And
well,
so
here's my thought.
Everyone is aware of that history.
Okay, here's my thought. You say to your wife, the thing I need you to do, honey, is delay grieving over your mother and not having contact with her and all of that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go to work on you not being found guilty of a felony that you did not commit. We're going to be lining up witnesses in our court case so that essentially the charges will be dropped, because the prosecutor will see that they can't win this case with family members saying I was abused by this woman and the other things that your very expensive and very good attorney is going to do. But this is where you use the 401k money to get the best attorney you can in this situation. Do you kind of get what I'm saying here?
Yeah, and we have a lawyer. We got a lawyer on this case. We're waiting to hear back from the the sheriff's department whether or not they're going to take this to the district attorney and file felony charges, or if they're going to take it to the clerk and file.
You be sure your attorney knows everything you've told me and more, so that when that attorney is talking to the sheriff's office, they get the picture. This is not going to work in front of a jury, so we're going to drop these charges. Now, that's what I wanted to say about your situation. Did you have a question that you want us to answer?
Well, I mean, it was kind of how to help her emotionally, because it's tough. She's really strong, but there are times when, I mean, she's just really grieving. And she said, I mean, the words basically like, I feel like I've lost my mother, like she's gone.
She lost her mother a long time ago. Mm-hmm. And what she needs to do is lose the idealized version of her mother in her head. Her mother is a toxic human being, and her mother is abusive. And there's this thing of victimhood where you're drawn. You have kind of a trauma bond with the person that's hurting you so much. And that's the kind of stuff you can help her see and let her cry and moan and weep to you, but don't let her become weak in her thoughts about her own value and the need for you guys to step up the defense and get this thing thrown out.
Well, and John, I think it's the hope of having the mother that you wanted and needed. If we're still in relationship, maybe mom will grow. Maybe mom will see the light. If I do all the right things, maybe she won't be abusive anymore. And I think this just shattered that for your wife. And so it's the loss of really that false hope and seeing more clearly that mom has major problems. I mean, this is severe, that she would come over, attack, turn it around, and call the police and send her daughter to jail. That it's one thing if she's upset and she's reactionary, and that's not okay. But to go through, it's almost like it's plotted out, right? It's a scenario that mom is playing out. From perhaps her past trauma, but it's not safe for your wife. So, but I think emotionally, that's tough. And so there's a lot of sitting with, helping her in the midst of that reality, that the mom she hoped would come around isn't there and isn't going to be there.
And quite frankly, your wife should not ever be in the presence of her mother again unless the mother gets real help and you see a major transformation, because she could do the same thing at any moment. So I think the days of her just coming on over to visit, all of that needs to be dealt with and done. And I'm glad she's got you there to help her sort this out, because this is one of those situations you just never plan on this kind of thing happening.
Hey, John, your job is to not fix this relationship with her mother. Your job is to come alongside her, and it sounds like you're doing a good job with that. But again, the answer for you is to come alongside, listen, care, and then get her the help. I mean, the experience that you've just said in terms of even the abuse early on, that means she needs to work through that with counseling, even if she's done it before. It's like an onion peel. And your job is to be there and support and care for her. In some ways, you're going to be the Jesus with hands and feet and maybe some lips to help her become the kind of person that her mom was never going to allow her to be because of her mom's dysfunction and toxic nature. So you don't have to fix that relationship between her and her mom.
So let me send you Jill's book, Forgiving Our Fathers and Mothers. I think that's going to help your wife, and you be sure you get the support and connection you need so that you can be that strong person for her in this very, very tough time.